The end of the transaction is really the beginning
of the relationship.
You're in that professional relationship with them through the transaction. You can't really get as in a relationship as you'd like because you're trying to maintain those lines, but then once it closes and they see the work that you've done with them and you welcome them into that community, that's when the real relationship can really take off.
Are you guys ready? All right, so today's theme is the 2024 Thrive Plan. This plan has been developed over the last 7 to 8 years by me and Brittany. We've studied some of the top producers around the country, what they do with their databases so that they can have a sustainable and profitable business. Most of the time, real estate agents over the years, they don't focus as much as profit because they're not tracking, or they're constantly on the treadmill of real estate sales trying to create the next piece of business opportunity because they don't focus on the opportunities that are right in front of them. And this is a huge problem in the industry, and we're actually going to be showing you some of the statistics about why it's a problem and how it becomes a problem. Here's our core values as an organization. Customer obsession, that's number one. Without customer obsession, you're not going to get the referrals and the profitability that you want in your business, and there's not going to be a way out. You have to provide good service, and that's why this is our number one core value for the organization. Own it, which means you are in charge. You are the CEO of your business. The action and the inaction that you take in your business is completely up to you, and you have to own the decisions that you make every single day. And then deliver results, so we make sure that we always are striving for a 5-star service for our customers. And then think big, take action. So we're not small thinkers here. We're thinking really big. We want to get to the next level, and then we're going to get the action that's going to back that up to get us where we want to go. Here's our vision. Through exceptional service, help our community build wealth through real estate. So we're really focused on building wealth. So I heard that as like a theme through some of the introductions. Most of the people here, they do want to get out of what we describe as the rat race, and they want to build wealth. Our perspective is we partner, not with everybody, but with passionate, growth-minded professionals who have drive, integrity, and the ability to serve others at the highest level. Those are agent partners who we're looking to partner with. So for today, we want you to think big. We realize that this is a long class, it's an hour and a half, but the reality is you just need to take away one piece of information that you're going to put into your business that you did not have the day before, just one piece of information for you to transform it over a period of time. When people come to Momentum and they say their business took off when they joined the organization, they can't point back to one individual thing that they did or changed. Usually it's one thing that they changed every single month over a year, and they changed 12 things, and those little steps add up to a significant change over a period of time. So it's not one big magical event that occurs just because you transferred your license to the organization. It's a bunch of mini steps in place over a period of time. Identify your meaning in doing this. So we're going to dig into this of why you're in real estate. There's no greater opportunity than real estate sales. Honestly, right now, I know that the number of sales nationwide are very low in terms of the historical context, but prices have never been higher. It's a great time to be in business. There's still a lot of business going on, and the time is now, so come away with clarity from this event. So here's the structure. We just did our icebreaker. We're going to do some math. Does everybody here have a pen? Okay, good. Be ready for some math. The 3 R's, which we talked about. Brittany's then going to take over and do a deep dive, and then we're going to be talking about the long-term benefits of crushing your database. As always, we want to just go over the SMART goals. 42% more likely to achieve your goal if you write them down. Who here has written goals? Who here has a written database plan for the year of 2024? That's why we're here. Okay, cool. So specific, you want to figure out where your area of improvement is. This one is database touch program, measurability. You need to quantify the indicators of progress. So quantify, like a metric, would be how many referrals I'm going to receive this year, or percentage of referrals based on my database size that I'm going to receive this year. You should be thinking about that and writing it down. Who will do it? If you're a solo agent, it's you. Heads up. Realistic, available resources that you have. This means how much money that you can put into it. So who's thinking about their budget already for the year for how much money that they can put into their database touch program? And then when is it going to be done? This is the biggest issue. People say, oh, I'm going to do a client appreciation event this year. That doesn't help at all, and it probably won't happen because you don't have it written down, it's not in the calendar. So it doesn't help. So write down, have the SMART goals. Of course, none of this works if you don't have the golden business plan, which is you have to answer your phone, you have to provide great service, and you have to follow up consistently. If you don't do these 3, nothing that we share here with you will work. Cool. So here's me and Brittany's story. So we started out in 2016, and it was just me and my dog, and we were broke. And Brittany said you have 3 months to figure it out and make enough money to survive in real estate sales. And that was rough for me. But it put on the pressure. And that year I served 66 families, and the majority of that was just through the grind, the work, the going out, doing open houses every single weekend, doing the door knocking.
Online leads.
What's that?
Online leads.
And then online leads, got the money, and then invested a certain percentage of that money back into my business to grow it. Does anybody here have a plan on how much money they're going to invest in their business this year? Okay. We've got to work on this stuff. So the next year, and by the way, don't feel bad if you don't. I didn't know either. I didn't know any of this. It took me years to figure all this out and to have a plan. Then the next year I got a little bit smarter and focused on a higher price point and got 74 families, and this is when I implemented a new plan. Why? Because my life sucked. I was working long hours. The lifestyle sucked. I was just giving up all my time away. I was on the treadmill of lead generating every single day. I would sit there and dial like 500, 600 people a day on an auto dialer. It just wasn't like a really great lifestyle. And the online lead costs started becoming 4 times more. So I was buying Realtor.com and Zillow and all that. You don't have control of your business when you're buying online leads because you don't have control of the price. And you don't also have control of the frequency of when they come in. So it can be a huge problem. So this started to be basically anytime there's in a marketplace, there's something that works. It's just a matter of time until it gets so crowded out that it becomes market neutral and there's really very little amount of profit left to be made on that one thing. And that's what happened to us in online leads. So this strategy that we had back in 2017 was not sustainable, and that's part of our story, and that's what led us to discover there is another way in your business where you can grow it and actually enjoy your life. Strange. So what if we slowed our spending on online leads and not stop the spending on online leads? What if we slowed the spending on online leads and moved it into a portion where we just spent money on our database? I just kept thinking about that. Why would I give my money to Wall Street when I could give it to the customers who are right in front of me and live in the community? And how much more of an impact would that have? And how much more exciting would that be? And could that actually work and change things? So we did research. We started going to the conferences. We started talking to the people who had the best referral databases and started asking them, what do you do? How do you do it? Why do you do it that way? How do you ask clients for referrals? And started studying, is there a better way? So what did we do? Don't fall asleep here. We made a plan. We had deadlines behind the plan. We had a calendar that held us accountable to doing the specific activities that we needed to do. We assigned tasks to specific people, ourselves and members of our team, for things that needed to happen throughout the year, so we know exactly who's going to do it. We improved the process each time we did it. Like the first time I was dropping off the pop buys myself. That was crazy. It took me like 7 days to drop off all the pop buys until I realized there's Uber drivers. I could call one of them, see if they want to make some extra money, pay for them $15 an hour to go drive around town and drop off the pop buys. So we improved the process. We found ways to make it affordable by partnering with other people or just finding better ways of doing it. And then we tracked the referrals on where they were coming from. What did our past clients like the most that was getting us the biggest bang for the buck? So that way they would send us referrals. So here's our story. We started off with a Lion King premiere, which was really cool. It was actually sold out.
We had to get 2 theaters.
We had to get 2 theaters. Guess how much it costed to rent a theater at Cinemark? It was $1,000. That's it, $1,000, and we invited our whole database there. Guess how many referrals we got off of that event?
8.
Yeah, we got 8. Yeah, he's cheap. It's cool. Yeah, we had 8.
They usually do it. They allow you we'll get into this later, but you get access like the day before the movie comes out. So it's even more exclusive, and the movie theater will work with you. So all these people got access before The Lion King and all those summer blockbusters premiered.
Question, Caitlin.
I was just going to say, for updated pricing, when I was in a Cinemark, pretty much however many seats are in the theater is how much.
A Saturday afternoon so families could come.
But you just have to pay for every ticket of the theater, then however many people show up.
And if you don't have a full theater for yourself for your past database, partner up with another real estate agent to do it. There's 100 different ways to do this to make your clients feel special and feel important, which is the goal of this. So we did that. We had also goodie bags at the front that we'd give away. We had vendor partners pay for the majority of it. Then we did Topgolf. Here's a picture of us at Topgolf. It was a big hit. We just rented out 3 bays next to each other. It cost like $3,500 back then. I'm probably sure it's $5,000 now. But it was a really good one.
Yeah.
We do these quarterly. We had an event at our house. That's when we didn't have any money to be able to spend on other things, but it was still really fun. We rented a band and we just had people come out to our house and we just had a big party at our house.
So, and they love
cool.
this, and Caitlin's experienced this too. I know, Caitlin, you've done it at your house, and they feel like they're part of your family. They're getting welcomed into your home. And so Topgolf, I think they have pricing too.
Yeah, it's, I paid $2,500 and I have 7 bays and food
Yep. And
That's really
for
good.
2 hours.
yeah, I was going to say it's more than 3 bays.
Yeah, ours was 3 hours. Yeah, that's great.
And usually
That's
vendor
great pricing.
partners might kick in and help.
Yeah, we'd be talking about the allied resources for all this as well. We did a house party. We got a backdrop there that you can see so people could take photos. And then we also did raffles and giveaways, which were really effective in getting reviews and referrals. So a little
we'll talk
contest
about
that we
that.
did there. All of this will be broken down. Brittany will be going a little bit more deep dive into like how to do this, how to set it up, the scripts that you're going to use, all of that information. I'm just giving you the high level overview for right now. So this is what we did. And by the way, our profitability went up, our lifestyle got better, our clients were happier, they felt really exclusive. What we ended up realizing is that when somebody comes into our network and buys or sells a house with us, we want them to feel like they're part of a club. They just got into the John and Brittany Club, and they're going to get invited to all these events that nobody else is going to be throwing. They're going to be doing all of this, plus they're going to be getting mail, they're going to be getting email, they're going to be getting text message gifts, they're going to be getting pop buys, they're going to be getting swag, everything. So they're bought into our story. So they're going to be really interested in giving us referrals because we're giving first. And I think a lot of agents miss this potentially, is they don't give first. You got to give first to your clients before you receive. Then, by the way, when somebody sends us a referral, what do? You thank them. And this made a huge difference. But yeah, we had better lifestyle, more profit, worked less hours, and it was actually sustainable. But we had to have a system. And by the way, you're only good as your system or the consistency that you have within that system. It needs to be planned out. If it's not going to be planned out, it's just not going to happen. I've just never seen an agent pull it off without. I should be able to ask you, I want to see your database touch program for 2024 within a week from now. And if that's not the case, then you're not going to be getting the maximum amount of number of referrals from your business, and you're going to have to find that business elsewhere and work harder doing it elsewhere. Yes, we want to, the exclusivity factor is the biggest thing that we felt. Like when they finally closed their house with us, then we started telling them like, we're going to have events for you. We would actually tell them that we're going to have events and things like that, and that the end of the transaction is just the beginning of the relationship. And they would understand that they are going to be contacted throughout. We actually pull that out at our buyer consults and our listing consults. And we show them pictures sometimes of all the events with our past clients. It helps them understand that we're actually a community-focused and based organization, and helps the conversion happen.
Can you say that again? The end of the transaction is really the beginning of the relationship. You're in that professional relationship with them through the transaction. You can't really get as in a relationship as you'd like because you're trying to maintain those lines, but then once it closes and they see the work that you've done with them and you welcome them into that community, that's when the real relationship can really take off.
Yeah, we tell them like we're professionals all the way up until closing and after the 5-star review, and then after that you're going to become our friends. That's really where it's at, because it's a different relationship going through the transaction and then afterwards. So your past customers, you get the events, you get the gifts, the prizes, the drop buys, the special market updates, and they get bought into your business journey. Here's the first part of the spreadsheet that you have in front of you, which we're going to just do a little bit of math here.
We didn't get the spreadsheet back here.
Who did not?
Well,
nobody got it? Nobody got it.
No, it's not a spreadsheet, it's this.
This piece of paper.
The piece of paper that's double-sided. Do you have
Double-sided
it?
piece of paper? No. We didn't pass those out
Oh,
yet?
we didn't pass them out.
Oh yeah, we didn't pass them out. That's why
Sorry,
you all
guys.
look confused.
Here.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool. So we're going to be going over some of these Thrive database models, and you can figure out where we're at, because I don't know where we're at right now.
I'll let you guys
but
pass them out.
the idea of all of this is to think big and long term. So the real question you're asking
Try
yourself
this.
is, what is your exit plan in real estate sales? Does anybody here have an exit plan for real estate sales? What's your exit plan, Nick?
Oh, you might need a guide though.
He's not ready to share it yet. So this is the thing. We can actually break down the amount of people you need to have in your database to figure out what percentage of them is going to refer to you each year, figure out what the profitability margin is, and identify exactly how much you need to get every single year. to be able to make the money you want to make. Or you can just warp speed your business and work really hard for 3 to 5 years and just accumulate a ton of money and make passive investments and then retire. There's a bunch of different ways you can do it, but you get to choose which way you want to go. So that's why we want to break this down. So what is LTV? Loan to value, most people think. But it's actually, in this case, it's lifetime value of a customer. It's a general business term that's used for almost every other business organization, but real estate agents think of it as the loan to value ratio. So the average person in their lifetime buys and sells 8 properties. There are some of those who just stay in Florida, or you can get a referral fee off of them if they move, but 8 properties in a lifetime. That's actually, I think, ending up being even higher. The numbers are going higher because people are relocating more often. So if you assume that, and they do $400,000 houses, then they're going to do $3.2 million in sales at a 2.5% commission rate, and then one person's lifetime value could be $88,000. You guys with me? Yeah. All right. And if they give you, let's say, 8 referrals over 8 years, which is not a lifetime, but it's 8 referrals over 8 years, the value of that one person can be $176,000. Who's got like repeat referrals from the same person over and over again, and it's like feeding their whole business? This is your core advocate. And this is the person you should be spending the most time with and be giving the most value to every single day. Any comment there?
So I just ran our math.
Okay.
And to give you guys an anecdote. So we started going out of production as Momentum grew. We stopped buying online leads in 2019. And so who has a number, and just so you guys are aware, let's just say it's 60 to 80 million in production that we did those bulk years before we started going out of production. So who wants to guess the number of repeat and referral that we got after we turned off online leads? How much in volume? Because I have the number. Throw it out.
60%?
Give me $1 million sales volume.
30 million.
Lower, but 23 million in repeat and referral business once we turned off online leads.
Yeah, and a lot of that...
In a span of 2 years.
Your buyer, so this is the typical trajectory, your buyer buys, then 2 to 3 years later, right? Complicated concept. Your buyer buys a house. And then they sell their house like 2 to 3 years later, and then they either move out of the area or they upsize or downsize based on their situation. And then you just continue to rotate them through. But for us, we targeted an area where there's a high military presence, so a lot of our people would get deployed after 2 years. So 2 years later, they'd become a seller and then move out of the area. So you need to not only just continue to build your database of the people who already know you, but you have to continue to feed the other side of it, which is bring new people in the database, because some of those old people will be moving out of the database. Okay? But yes, you want these core advocates to be basically like you're talking to them all the time. And you want to be able to rank your database on if they're a core advocate or not, or if it's somebody that you're not going to spend any time with, and really recognize who they are in your organization. So here's, I love Mark Zuckerberg's face here. A trusted referral is the holy grail of advertising. I say this because Meta, or Facebook, is like the #1 advertiser in the world. And this is what he's saying. He says trusted referral is the holy grail of advertising, even though they don't really do that. Feed your database every day is what he was saying. And then here's the database math that we had. So the database math that you want to do for yourself on your spreadsheet in front of you is the number of people who know and trust you. So for me and Brittany, that's 200 people. We know with our database touch program, we're going to have 25% of those people give us a referral each year. And so we're going to get 50 referrals a year. Does that make sense? So you want to write down the size of your database and do the math here on the spreadsheet for yourself. And you should be able to get a 10 to 30% referral rate based on your level of service and the relationships. Again, you're not going to get the repeat business if you can't provide the good service. So the service has to be there.
Or have a plan around it. Like, the whole point is to hit the plan hard. All
right. If you didn't see that last slide, who has a guess of what percentage of owners say they can't remember the name of their realtor? 70% is the number I saw. So they can't even remember the name of the person that they transacted with. Isn't that crazy? So there's reasons for that. And the question is, why does Zillow even exist? Why do these online lead aggregators exist? There's 1.4 million real estate agents. Why would Zillow or any of these other aggregators exist? There's a couple reasons. Majority of agents don't last less than 2 years in the industry. They just don't last. So they do a couple sales and then they depart, so they don't have a touch program. They provide bad service. Who knows an agent that provides bad service? There's agents that do that, yeah. There's low producers who don't care, people who just provide bad service and don't care. And then there's the other box, which are the top agents who unfortunately don't have a long-term vision and don't have any communication after the sale of the property, which is a huge missed opportunity. That's like having a listing and not doing an open house. That's like having a listing and selling the listing and then not telling the neighbors that you sold the listing and getting the next listing in that neighborhood. It's a massive missed opportunity. So what's the solution to executing the Powerhouse database plan that acts as an exclusive network? You're going to be less likely to be on the real estate treadmill, higher profitability, lower risk of burnout, compounding returns, and a better lifestyle. So here's your database. We're going to go over this pretty quickly. You have your core advocates, which it says right here 5. Those are the people that we just talked about who keep sending you business referrals, and those are the ones that really give you the majority of your business. Then you have your advocates. Those are people who are similar to your core advocates, but maybe they don't refer every single month. They refer every single year, and you're still really happy to have them in your database. Then you have your allied resources. This is your lender partner, your title company, your insurance company, your home inspector, all those people who are going to be sponsoring Demi's event that she set up. And then you have your network Met group. These are people who are naturally in your network. We each have them. Each person on the planet, by the way, has about 200 people in their immediate network that know of them. Maybe they're not like super close, but they know of them. So you're going to have a network Met group, people who know you, where if you were to call them, they would probably answer and they know who you are. And then the target group, haven't met group, those are people you just haven't met. And the general public is included in that. So the target group, the only difference between these two is the target group are the people that you actually want to go target specifically. Like i.e. like people who can actually afford a home and want to purchase a home and things like that. Those are people that you're targeting. And then just the general public. General public would be like circle dialing, where you're just like auto dialing the entire time and just making random calls and praying for the best. They call that spray and pray or shotgun approach, versus target would be more of a sniper approach. One of the things that we did really well to build our exclusive network was when we met somebody, the first thing that we would do is get their name, and then we would add them on Facebook. And then we would add them on Instagram. Then we would invite them to our YouTube channel. We would get them involved into our life. Yes?
With that, someone asked me about business cards. I have never had a business card since I started this business. Because if someone said, hey, do you have a business card? I know they're just going to throw them away or lose them in their car. So I said, yeah, let me add my contact, or let me get your contact, or I would request it and then send them a message. They have digital business cards now, but paper, I know some people have success with them, but just as a testimony, since 2015, 16, since we've been in this business, I have never had a business card. So you can do it without those.
Yeah, you want to get their phone number and their email in your
add them on social, and that's really the interaction.
But social media is a free touch program. It's the best touch program, and it's got the highest level of success out there. So the first thing we do is add them on social media. We make sure when we post on social media, we're not doing things that are going to turn people off. We don't do really negative posts. We don't do political posts. We don't do anything that's unprofessional on there. You don't see me binge drinking. I keep that private. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. You're showing the best sides of your business, because we decided that our profile was going to be used for business purposes. If you want to have your own private one, you can, but the thing is, if you're going to do this strategy, make sure that your profile makes yourself in the kind of light that somebody would want to work with you as a professional. Does that make sense? It's a nuanced point, but a lot of agents don't get that, and they just post whatever they want anyway. But you can use this as the #1 way to build an exclusive network. You can have your client appreciation events, and then what we recommend doing is a raving fans page for your business, which is a private Facebook group, just like we have at Momentum, a private Facebook group where you consistently add value to your people, and you act as the connector between the people in the group. And that's where they can be like, I need a contact, I need a pool person, I need this, I need that. You become the resource instead of Zillow become the resource, or the Angie's List. Like, we are basically, we're Angie's List. We should be the person, the first call. Anything happens in their house, hey, my AC's out, I need a contractor, I need this, I need that. We should be the first person that they think of to call. And that's how you know you've won that relationship. You should be getting those calls. It's a tremendous amount of value for that. So we create a Raving Fans page to answer questions, to get people connected, to promote the events, all that kind of stuff. Question. You want to make sure that each post actually adds value. So not just a photo of you or a house or something like that. You want to tell stories and you want to share why it's important. Why should somebody listen to what you have to say? Why is what you have to say important? I see a lot of who sees on social media is just like there's like really there's nothing to it. There's no value added to it. There's no likes to it. There's no comments to it. There's no conversation around it. You want to make sure that your posts are actually, because otherwise what will happen is they'll scroll right past it and then it'll go down in the algorithm and they won't come back to it and you won't show up on people's feeds. So you want to do stuff that's actually interesting. Go ahead.
I'll give a shout out I know there's a lot of people that do this, so I'm sorry if I don't say your name, but Jan Rice and Tammy Baranowski are really good about this. If you follow their profiles, they tell the story, they have emotion in it, they tell the result, and they explain why, through the story of other people, why they added value and how they added value. So Jan Rice is really good about, I know it's hard to boast about yourself, but do it, and do it through the light of the story of the other person that you helped.
Yeah, usually the more vulnerable you are, the better your posts are going to be. The more vulnerability on the win side and on the lose side. It's really important to get people bought into your story. And then your vendor partners should be able to help execute your plan, be there for the events, network with your people, and be able to provide 5-star service, because you recommending them is a reflection of you. Here's the stats. Reviews, you earn 80% 5-star reviews. These are the ones that we go for: Zillow, Google, Yelp, and Realtor.com. Otherwise, you have an asking or a service problem if you're not getting around 80%. Most people, they don't ask. They do the sale, they have a great experience, they don't ask for the review. How's the next person going to find out about you? If you don't have a Google profile or Zillow profile or Realtor.com profile or any of these profiles, Yelp. How are they going to find out that you're better than the other agents? Because they have 12,000 options. You got to stand out. You can do that by having the reviews. So that was something that we focused on right away. The referrals, you got to earn 20 to 30% referral from your past database each year. Otherwise, it's an asking or database execution problem. This is both. Agents aren't asking, and they don't have any plan. Yeah.
I just want to throw about the reviews. If you have a Google business profile, you really got to review.
Anyone with who's a Met person who knows you and knows you do real estate, where you've ever talked about real estate with them, you should be getting a review from them. So I think that's a great point, Chris. Yeah.
Is there any issue with getting past clients to do reviews on Zillow?
No, we highly encourage it, and we'll be going.
Yeah, we'll go through that.
We'll be going over some of the scripts.
Like some scripting to help with that.
Quick question.
Yeah.
How many times during the transaction sending out like an email template?
Great question.
Yes, we will be. Yeah, great question. We'll be getting to that when Brittany takes over, which is just a minute here. So here's where Brittany is going to be taking off on the Database Touch program. So a written plan, we have provided this to you in Excel format on our Facebook page. You can go through it. You can see how much money we made each year that we were in business. You can see what our plan was, how we did it, why we did it that way, all the scripts, everything. It's all right there on the Facebook page, but we're going to be going a little bit deep dive into that today. And here's what I want you to do while you're listening to Brittany do this. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go over this real quick, and then we're going to take a 2-minute break, bathroom break, and then Brittany's going to go ahead and get started.
And I have a comment.
And Brittany has a comment. I challenge you to build your own ecosystem. So it's just the way that Momentum communicates with you is literally a database touch program. You got a text message to be here. You got a Google Calendar invite to be here. You got a Facebook page that's a private group where you get an invite where you get value from. What we're doing is you basically are getting a database touch program from me and Brittany, but we're doing it to agents instead of our buyers and sellers. So we have leads that come in, we provide virtual training, we have in-person training, we have speakers, we have revenue share, we have focus program and Lolo, we have a lending fund, we have marketing team and support, we have Brittany. We have a Facebook page that you can get this is actually rare, by the way, having people fill showings, fill open houses, transaction coordinators that can help. You can invest alongside us. And by the way, the brand is positive, and there's a positive culture, which is actually rare in this industry. You also get access to social events that we pay for, and you have access to 2 offices. This is your value proposition. But what we're doing is we're putting you on, I drew this last night, by the way.
With our daughters.
With my daughter's crayons. But you want to build your ecosystem. So you want to build the Beatrice ecosystem, right? The ecosystem of you, where somebody comes into your system, you have a whole platform that they can plug into, that they get value from just knowing you. In that value, they're going to give that back to you over a period of time. And with that, I'm going to move this over to Brittany.